morning, beloveds. I knocked everything over this morning, so it's taking me a minute to reset it. So my alarm goes off at 6 on Mondays, and I left the house at 6:30 to meet with my trainer, and it was 81 degrees. And when I got in the car to come home, got home at 8:30, it was 66 degrees. The cold front has rolled through. So please, if you like it cooler, open your windows. It's a light rain. It's not really hard, but it is definitely cooled off, and it is all good. All right. Ooh, today is a long one. Of course today is a long one, because it's Monday. All right. It is September 28th. It is Monday, and our title today is God Within Me is Truth, Beauty, Harmony, and Wholeness. And our Bible quote is, "The Spirit of God hath made me," and that is from Job 33:4, which is an interesting book if you haven't read it. There's a whole lot of people coming over and wanting to commiserate, and Job's like, I'm not going to sit here and whine about the bad things that have happened. I have stuff to do. It's an interesting book. So, all right, let's get into this. Divine perfection is already within us. Being forever perfect and complete, we need no reunion with God, because God already is in our every act, every thought, every movement. God is in our every plan, purpose, and performance. The divine presence within us creates every circumstance and situation we have ever experienced. We have called these circumstances and situations things in themselves, but they have never been. They have been the fruition of our thought, and our thought has always been dominated by our belief. By our use of the law of freedom, we create either bondage or liberty. Not that bondage really exists, but the possibility of using freedom in a limited way exists. The restriction is not in the principle, but in our use of it. If limitation were a thing in and of itself, we could not change it. But since it is merely an experience, why not use our imagination to enlarge that experience? When we do this, we will find the life principle within us responds just as quickly to a broader outline. Whatever we mentally see and spiritually comprehend, we may objectively experience. For the divine presence within us is not limited to any one experience. It is the creator of all experience. Today, my eyes are open more widely, and I look out upon a broader horizon. Across all the experiences I may have had that were limited or unpleasant, I now see the rosy hue of a new dawn. Letting go of that which is little, I now enter into a larger concept of life. Dropping all fear, I entertain faith, realizing that every form of uncertainty is seeing only in part. I open my spiritual eyes to that which is wholeness, which is greater and better. Okay, I have to admit I was a little worried about where Ernest was going with that. I'm sorry, I got bit by a mosquito while I was working out. All right. His title is, I don't know. The God within me is truth, beauty, harmony, and wholeness. And then, I like the Bible quote. The Spirit of God hath made me. But that first paragraph kind of made me go. If anybody remembers the TV show, was it Different Strokes? What you talking about, Willis? That's kind of what I want to do to Ernest sometimes. What you talking about, Ernest? And then he clears it up in the next paragraph. You just got to give Ernest a minute. He's going to lay it out for you and go, so that you're paying attention, I think is what he does. So divine perfection is already within us. This is what he teaches us. If we are made from God's stuff, then that divine perfection, the divine wholeness, is already within us. Being forever perfect and complete, we need no reunion with God. This is what he teaches. Where is God? Right here. God's already within you. So you don't have to worry about going out and finding God. God isn't lost, neither are you. You just need to be still and listen within, go within. That's where you meet God. Now, the other thing is that you want to meet God, go talk to your fellow human being. Look in their eyes and see God looking back at you. Oof. That's an experience, and that is a spiritual practice in and of itself. Because God already is in our every act, every thought, every movement. God is in our every plan, purpose, and performance. There is nowhere that God is not. But he goes on to say, he'll get to it in a minute, that we make limited use of the God within us. It's like, God's there. We are not fully utilizing the divine wisdom, the divine intelligence that is already within us, that is ours by birth. It's like we were born with this spark within us, but we're not using it. Or we are not using it to the fullest capability that we are capable of. Jesus said, all of this and more you will do. Because we have that within us. We don't believe. All right. The divine presence within us creates every circumstance and situation we've ever experienced. We have called these circumstances and situations things in themselves. I admit that sentence right there makes me go, so that's a sentence to think about. This divine presence within us creates every situation. Oh, no, sorry. We have called these circumstances and situations things in themselves, but they have never been. They have been, and here's where he smacks us. They have been the fruition of our thoughts, and our thought have always been dominated by our belief. So basically he's going back and saying, the situations that you find yourselves in, the circumstances that you find yourself in, the experiences that you find yourself having are created by your beliefs. So go back and look at your situation and the experiences that you keep having and think, well, what do you believe? What do you believe about yourself? What do you believe about other people? What do you believe about society? What do you believe about life in general? And if you can change any of those, it might change the experiences that you are having. And I say might, simply because we don't live in a vacuum. We live in I'm going to use the word cooperative community. The problem is frequently we don't cooperate. And when we don't cooperate, we intersect and we make messes, and it has what it is. So the more cooperative we are with each other, and the more cooperative we are with the divine within, the more rosy-hued experiences that we can have. So, but if you're going to change society, there's only one place that you can start. You. When you change your beliefs, then you're tipping the scale. So you're not going to go out and fix anybody else. You are going to fix your beliefs. And sometimes you are going to fix your belief about other people. You are going to grant them grace and peace in your head and in your heart and in your mind. And that is the best gift that you can give them. All right. So, here's where he goes. By our use of the law of freedom, we create either bondage or liberty. Not that bondage really exists. Again, it's an experience that we are having, and it is a misuse of the law. It is a misuse of who we are. But the possibility of using freedom in a limited way exists. And frequently, it's because we've been taught that limited use. And so what we have to do is discover for ourselves how to enlarge that limited use of the law, which is Ernest's whole goal. Ernest's whole goal is to say, hey, there's this life principle, and you can use it, and you've been using it, but you didn't know you were using it, and if you knew you were using it, you might do a better job. It's like if you read the instructions, you generally do better. How many of us don't read the instructions first, and then we screw it up, and then we go back and read the instructions, so it works a whole lot better. So that's what Ernest is trying to do. He's going, there is a way to do this and get better results. Let me show you. The restriction is not in the principle, but in our use of it. If limitation were a thing in and of itself, we could not change it. But since it is merely an experience, why not use our imagination to enlarge that experience? Right there. Why not use our imagination to enlarge the experience? Don't focus on the problem, imagine the solution. If you could have it be any way, how would you have it be? And focus on that. Not the way it is, the way you would have it be. All right. Why not use our imagination to enlarge that experience? Woof. When we do this, we will find the life principle within us responds just as quickly to a broader outline. It's like if you give the law a very narrow channel, it's going to work in a very narrow channel. If you give it a broad channel, it's going to work in that broad channel. You have the power to limit or expand the use of the law, your use of the law. It's all you. Whatever we mentally see and spiritually comprehend, we may objectively experience, for the divine presence within us is not limited to any one experience. It is the creator of all experiences. So is there an experience that you haven't had that you want to? Then go to that place. Go to that creator that is within you and enlarge your use of that law. Broaden the channel. Forget what you've told you. Forget what you have been told that you can do. And do it. What's that? Those who say it cannot be done need to get out of the way of the people who are doing it. That's science of mind. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. The Creator is within you and says that you can. Today, my eyes are open more widely, and I look out upon a broader horizon. I have limited my view to here. So now I'm limiting my view. I'm not limiting my view. I'm broadening my view. Across all the experiences I may have had that were limited or unpleasant, I now see the rosy hue of a new dawn. So, yes, I've had experiences that I would rather not have had, but I realize I don't have to have them anymore. I can choose anew, and I can choose anew every moment of every day. Letting go of that which is little, I now enter into a larger concept of life. Dropping all fear, I entertain faith, because faith and fear cannot exist in the same space. So turn away from fear, turn into faith, and allow that to flow through you. Realizing that every form of uncertainty is seeing only in part. You do not have to see the whole staircase to take the first step. I see that quoted a lot. I think it's attributed most often to Martin Luther King. I open my spiritual eyes to that which is wholeness, which is greater and better. So open your spiritual eyes. Look at that place where nothing has ever been wrong. Look at that place where the divine resides within you. That place within you that is truth, beauty, harmony, and wholeness. Yep. Okay. So, our mission today is to use our imagination to enlarge our experience, to enlarge our use of the law, the life principle of freedom. Because we are the ones limiting it, and we are the ones who have the power to broaden it. All right. And that is September 28th. And now I'm going to move into the process of my day, and I'm going to encourage you to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. I gave you, if you watched the Sunday service, which I had the pleasure of doing, I gave you a new use for the acronym RICE, which you can use if you have injured yourself. Please Google it; it's great. But Jesse said something, and I went, oh, because I kept rest. I like rest. But he also said release. So, release, interest, compassion, and elevate. Elevate your thoughts. All right. I'm still working on my rice. So, I'm going to encourage you to do something to engage your mind and your body. Please, right now, it is fantastic out there. Open your windows. It might get into the 50s tomorrow. Or tomorrow. So please enjoy this break in the weather while we have it. Because, it's South Texas. God knows what's going to happen. And do what you need to do to make it a fantastic day. Remember that you are the beloved child of Spirit, in whom Spirit is well pleased. Always, forever, now. And there is nothing that you can do to change that. So, open those windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you that you live in heaven now. And allow that breath to broaden your use of that life principle. To recognize that the wholeness you seek is within you. All right, beloveds. Have a wonderful day.